Hi there, and welcome to At the Bottom of the Well and the Well Dwellers podcast. I'm Eric Freiberger. You know, there is something sacred about a table. Not the polished kind, not the curated kind, but the kind where dessert and food crumbs seem to linger, where coffee slowly warms your hands as you hold the cup, and stories are told honestly and openly, unscripted. More often than not, we find Jesus at similar tables. Not just preaching to crowds from a pulpit, but actually eating, listening, laughing, and of course welcoming. In places like the Gospel of Luke, we see that meals weren't just backdrops to his ministry. They were the ministry itself. Tables have always been where belonging is practiced. And that's exactly why I want to personally invite you to something special happening the evening before the Banquet of Belonging this coming spring. On Wednesday, May 6th, before Deeper Communion's National Conference begins, we're hosting a prequel evening called Sweet Conversations. It's a dessert evening, but it's also much more than that. It's a space for worship, for storytelling, for vulnerability, for listening well together. My wife Bonnie and I will be joined by our friends Ron and Teresa Bushman for an honest, unscripted conversation about marriage, disability, faith, and the long road of building a life together. Bonnie and I both sustained spinal cord injuries in separate car accidents in the early 90s. We met in a group home while learning how to re-enter community life from the hospital. What began as friendship slowly became love. We married in 1999 and have now spent 27 years navigating marriage in our wheelchairs, juggling the chaos, the beauty, the grief, the humor, and the grace that disability brings into our relationship. And let me be clear, this evening is not about presenting a polished, perfect story. It's about telling the truth that love deepens in the gift of weakness, the truth that partnership requires relearning each other again and again, the truth that belonging isn't automatic, it's cultivated and nurtured. Ron and Teresa bring over 4 decades of marriage experience, walking alongside couples in seasons of joy and seasons of strain. Their posture is practical, grounded, and deeply hopeful. Not because marriage is easy, but because commitment and grace can grow something beautiful over time. And all of this will unfold around dessert and coffee, of course. There certainly is something disarming about holding a fork and listening to someone else's story. It lowers our defenses. It opens spaces. It reminds us that we are not alone. The Banquet of Belonging, happening the following day, is a national conference centered on disability, faith, and the widening of God's table. But Sweet Conversations is where we begin to practice the widening in a small, intimate way. We will sing together, we will worship, we will eat, and we will listen. And we will be reminded that God's table is far from narrow. It's expansive. In the Gospel of John, chapter 13, Jesus washes the feet of his friends before the Passover meal. He shows us that love kneels, that love serves, that love makes space. Belonging begins there, not with perfection, but with presence. If you are part of the disabled community, if you are married or hope to be, If you are navigating faith and wondering how disability reshapes relationship, if you are a pastor, a church leader, or simply someone longing for deeper communion, this night is really meant for you. Not because we have all the answers, but because we believe stories shared honestly can create the kind of soil where belonging grows. Sweet Conversations is the doorway into the larger banquet of belonging. It sets the tone. It softens the ground. It reminds us that before conferences and keynotes and workshop sessions, there are people, real people with real stories. And perhaps the most radical thing we can do in a fragmented world is sit at a table together and just listen. So I want to invite you personally. Register for Wednesday evening's Sweet Conversations dessert night. And if you would consider, register for the entire Banquet of Belonging while joining the table for the longer story. You can find out more by visiting at thebottomofthewell.com or at deepercommunion.org. Just follow the tabs at the top of the page labeled Banquet of Belonging, and you'll find more details and the full schedule, along with a registration link to the national website. I will also leave some links and posters in the show notes below this video that I hope you might share with your family and friends, so they might also receive the invitation. Come early, come hungry, come curious. Come ready to hear stories of love, resilience, laughter, and the quiet faithfulness of choosing each other again and again. Because the Banquet of Belonging doesn't start on Thursday morning. It begins the moment we pull up, or maybe roll up, in a chair. I truly hope you'll join us at the table this coming May at Deeper Communion's National Conference, the Banquet of Belonging. Thanks for listening.